WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. Police have determined no hate crime was committed during a Mardi Gras parade on the Mississippi Gulf Coast on February 16th when a man on a parade float handed a 12-year-old black female a black doll with beads around its neck. Take a look at this. The parade throw sparked outrage from the girl's family and some in the community who say the gesture was, quote, racially offensive. The girl's family, including her mother, says that the beads around the doll's neck represented a noose and indicated racial hatred. The mother told police that the man, who authorities say is a white man from out of town, told her daughter, "That's you." She also said the doll was dressed as a slave. Police have not released the name of that man. The family of the little girl and their attorney are speaking out today on the latest of that investigation.
We are very concerned because we want justice in the case. They came to me and said that they were traumatized by what happened, and they were very concerned about their child.
I'm pretty sure if anybody had a child that went through this, they'll feel the same way. They want justice, and they want to see, get this together and to be right.
That's what we want to make sure that they do, that they go forward with this case and make sure that the man's held accountable. And anyone else who is involved in this should be likewise held accountable.
Now, the family says that they will cooperate with the FBI to provide any information that they may need. A missing children's case that has stretched from Idaho to Hawaii takes another turn today. The mother of the two missing children made a court appearance in Idaho and had her bail lowered from $5 million to $1 million. There's still no hint on where her children, who vanished in September, may be, and is now the FBI is asking for the public's help in their search. CBS's Daniel Bacchus has the very latest.
So with that, bail will be set at $1 million.
Lori Vallow appeared before a judge in Idaho for the first time amid questions about what happened to her two children.
Lori is presumed innocent as she stands before the court today.
She refused to produce her children as ordered.
The Idaho mother was extradited from Hawaii to her home state to face several charges, including 2 counts of felony abandonment. Her two children, 7-year-old JJ Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, have both been missing for months. Relatives have pleaded for their safe return.
She could end this, she being Lori, could end this just by saying, look, we'll have the kids there.
Tylee was last seen in September posing for this photo, taken during a family trip to Yellowstone National Park. JJ was last seen in Idaho later that month.
I don't think it'll be easy. She doesn't seem to make things easy, but you never know. Maybe she's had a change of heart.
Vallow was arrested in Hawaii last month, where she was living with her new husband, Chad Daybell. Authorities say they're also investigating the mysterious deaths of their previous spouses, as well as the death of Vallow's brother, Alex Cox, back in December. Danya Bacchus, CBS News.
Now, both Vallow and Daybell have denied any wrongdoing. Vallow could face up to 14 years in prison for each count of desertion of a child.
We are clear. We are getting cooler and cooler by the second. The wind is relaxing now. We had gusts earlier today about 30. Now we are down below 10 miles per hour. 39 in Oxford, 46 in Columbus, 43 in West Point. So there you have it. Lows tonight should be down to around 30, 31, 32 degrees, and that is supportive of a potential frost out there. So just be aware of that. Again, a chilly night. The wind is relaxing. Tomorrow, upper 50s, low 60s out there. Get ready for a great start to the weekend. We've had a string of decent weekends, even though it's been wet around here, and our Saturday, our weekend in its entirety will be pretty good. Your full forecast is coming up.
It was a day many in Pickens County have been dreading all week. The doors at the Pickens County Hospital are now closed for good. The hospital's closure comes as a big blow to the community, especially to the over 100 workers who depended on it for their livelihoods. Our Quentin Smith talks with some of them to find out what their plans are going forward.
Our cameras were rolling as hospital workers began locking the doors at Pickens County Medical Center, leaving workers feeling uneasy.
Disbelief, complete disbelief. This area needs a hospital out here.
Heartbroken and mad at the same time.
This is hard. It's very hard right now.
Tanya Bryant is a registered nurse at the facility, and she's still trying to wrap her mind around what's happening.
Just really processing the thought that it's really closing today, because it really hadn't sank in yet, because I usually do 7 on, 7 off. So right now I'm thinking I'm going on my 7 off. But then when it's time to come back, that's when it's going to hit me that you don't have anywhere to go.
That's the reality over 100 of Bryant's co-workers are also facing. Bryant says she's already filling out applications at other medical facilities nearby.
I have applied, but it's still a process, because just because I applied doesn't mean that I'm going to get hired.
Hospital administrators met with the workers to help them sign up for unemployment and figure out what's next. But for Teresa Jones, she's not waiting on the medical center to help figure out her next move.
I'm going job hunting. I'm going job when I can't wait on no unemployment. So now I'm going out looking for a job. Matter of fact, I got an interview today.
Packing and unloading boxes were common sights all around the hospital. Wayne McDavid worked at Pickens County for more than a decade, and he stopped by to say one last goodbye to his former colleagues.
It's hard to see after working here for that long. Come back and see the halls practically empty. It's rough.
It was an emotional scene as employees embrace one another for the final time. They say moving on will be tough because this medical center meant a lot to so many people.
This is life to a lot of people. They just come up to the gift shop or come up to work out. So it's life for a lot of people, especially the older people in the community.
Definitely feel for those people there. Well, hospital workers, they tell WCBI that all the patients have transferred to other facilities for treatment. We also reached out to the administrators, but they declined to give a comment. All right, we're going to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, a beautiful, picture-perfect weekend in store for us in our parts.
How about that?
We'll take it.
Nice little change of pace.
Yes.
And tonight we will get down into lower 30s. This is our Columbus temperature trend for the next 24 hours. So low 30s in many spots here, upper 50s to around 60 tomorrow with all that sunshine as we start the weekend. We'll talk about it next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Cooling down on our Friday evening with clear conditions, and that wind lightening up here. Was a bit breezy earlier today, and now things pretty quiet out there in Columbus and Tupelo. We are now in the lower 40s. Louisville, Vernon right there, not too bad either, still clear, and in the 40s to around 50 in some spots. But generally speaking, we are cooling down. Already 39 in Oxford. A big area of high pressure is coming on in. The energy we had earlier this week well off to our northeast into New England, rain, snow, but big area of high pressure comes on in. It's actually coming in right now, and that will give us a great weekend here, so get ready for it. The 6th warmest winter on record, December, January, and February. The numbers came out today. In Alabama, the 10th warmest on record. Mississippi, the 11th warmest. So you certainly know it has been warm. It's been very, very wet. And now we will actually have a dry and cool night tonight. Low 30s down to around freezing, if not slightly below, and that will be supportive of a potential frost out there. So be aware. By 9 o'clock in the morning, look at this, we're already at 43. By noon, 54, 55, around 60 at 3 o'clock, and into the 50-degree range tomorrow evening. Essentially mostly sunny all day long. Maybe a few wispy clouds late, but overall it's going to be a very nice day for us. Upper 50s to around 60 for you in Tupelo and Pontotoc and Boonville. And how about you in West Alabama, Hamilton, Fayette, and Vernon? Upper 50s to around 60 here. All right, if you were watching WCBI News at noon today, you saw Lady from the West Point Clay County Animal Shelter. She was looking for a home. Maybe she's already been adopted, but go over there and check her out if she hasn't been adopted. She was a great dog here earlier today. And she's in our forecast tonight talking about that warming trend as we get into the next couple of days here. Some upper 60s Sunday and Monday. The trade-off here with warmer weather will be a chance for some rain here. So high pressure for the weekend. A few wispy clouds here as we go throughout the course of our Saturday night and Sunday. Our next system will approach as we get into your Monday. So when we get into Monday afternoon and evening and overnight, we'll have a chance for some showers and storms. At this point, it doesn't look like it's going to be a very impressive system, but there will be some rain around, and we will go with the rain chance starting late Monday afternoon, or let's just say Monday afternoon, and then those rain and storm chances will continue into the better part of next week. Now, it's not going to be an all-week washout by any means here, Scott, but there will be some showers and storms around. And as I mentioned, more of a spring-like feel. We're back into the 70s here. starting Tuesday.
And speaking of spring, we got a spring forward
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah. Thanks for mentioning that.
We got
Yes.
spring forward on Sunday, so don't forget,
Oh,
folks.
2 o'clock in the morning.
It's easy to forget. Thank God for technology that automatically does it.
That will help you out, yes.
For sure. All right, thanks so much, Keith. Well, if you still got coronavirus questions, some folks in Wisconsin have come up with a lighthearted way to get them answered. Find out how they're taking it back to the streets when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. The coronavirus is serious business, and there is a lot of information and misinformation out there. A television station in Wisconsin teamed up with an expert to get the word out in a unique and non-threatening way.
Do you have questions about coronavirus? It's interesting to see what happens when you take a doctor out of his office and put him on the streets. I feel like it's weird for them to see a doctor outside of the hospital.
I mean, it is. There's not too many of us standing on State Street in a white coat.
We took UW Health's Chief Quality Officer Jeffrey Pothoff to State Street to answer random people's questions about coronavirus.
How dangerous is the coronavirus?
So when we talk about how dangerous the coronavirus is, a lot of people will compare it to influenza. So you'll hear a lot in the news that influenza is killing more people than coronavirus, and that's technically true. But if you look at the number of people who get really sick from coronavirus versus the number of people who get really sick and potentially die from flu, coronavirus has a much higher mortality rate than influenza.
If I were to think I have it,
yeah.
Is there a way to get tested now or not, or how complicated is that?
Yeah, I'd say what we recommend is if individuals think that they might have the coronavirus or just want to have questions answered about the coronavirus, UW Health has a hotline staffed by healthcare professionals who can walk you through whether you need to get tested or whether you don't.
Is it deadly for like people that aren't old or young? Really?
Yeah, so you're kind of asking like who's most at risk for having like a bad outcome from coronavirus. Yeah, we know that it affects the elderly much more so than the young. In fact, it's not all that common in kids. Folks who are older, say over the age of 65, who have comorbid conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, they're the ones that would be most at risk.
What should we do about traveling?
Yeah, what I suggest.
Country.
Yeah, so what I suggest people do for traveling is go to the CDC website. They have a great travel advisory that will tell you all the different warnings for the different countries and what they think your risk is, and then you can make an educated decision on whether you should travel or not.
Lots of good questions, but we also wanted to see how much everyone else knows about the coronavirus and prevention methods.
If you're worried about getting the coronavirus, if you wear a mask, does it make you more safe?
Probably not, because if you touch it.
So you guys got the right answer. So people who are not sick, wearing a mask doesn't prevent you from getting coronavirus. And some people think it actually increases your chance of getting the virus because you're more likely to touch your face with infected hands.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think soap and water is as effective as hand gel or not? No. You think it's not as effective? What about you?
Probably.
So hand washing is as effective as the hand gel, but you need to wash your hands for 20 seconds.
Why it's not as effective? People don't do it.
It's harder.
As educational as this was for people, Pothoff got a kick out of it too.
That was just fun.
Residents in Choctaw County take time to think of folks who keep them safe. Tonight, the Choctaw County Chamber of Commerce treated first responders from more than a dozen agencies. They were treated to an appreciation dinner. Organizers say the event is a small way to recognize all that these men and women do for the community.
They do a great job in our county, and it's just a little way to show them how much they mean to this county.
Sounds like a fun time for sure. McKay says that there are more than 200 first responders living in Choctaw County. Hell State Hoops takes care of business in its first game in Greenville. The highlights and more from the Bulldogs next in sports.
WCBI sports coverage of the 2020 SEC Women's Basketball Tournament in Greenville is brought to you by Columbus Orthopedic. Trust one place. Cannon Ford of Starkville. Nobody beats a Cannon deal. Nobody. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
Hell State Hoops begins its SEC tournament title defense. The Bulldogs waiting patiently to take the floor after earning the double bye. First test, the LSU Tigers. Bulldogs winning the regular season matchup in a 4-point game. LSU coming off a big win over Florida yesterday. Tigers come out hot. Kayla Pointer drains the triple. LSU would lead by as much as 7 in the first half. Bulldogs got off to a very slow start, but they get the spark they need in the second. After an 8-2 run off the missed free throw, a little bit of chaos from Rakia Jackson gets to Andra Espinoza-Hunter. The heave is good. So the Bulldogs go into halftime up by 1 thanks to the desperation 3 from Espinoza-Hunter, and it would be all Bulldogs from there. Jordan Danbury in transition. No one stops ball, and she gets right to the cup for the easy 2. Let this one play out a little bit. This was kind of the defining moment, really, for LSU in the second half against Mississippi State. Forcing the turnover, Maya Taylor, the head fake, easy bucket. Bulldogs outscore LSU 26-12 in the third, and in the fourth, closing time. Bulldogs with the turnover. Get out in transition. A little bit of chaos here again, but Maya Taylor's going to get to Rakia Jackson. Bucket plus the foul. She even lost her shoe. Doesn't matter. She's a walking bucket. And to cap it off for LSU. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. The triple is good right before the end of the shot clock. Mississippi State dominates 79-49 over LSU to advance to its 5th straight SEC semifinal. WCBI Sports' Courtney Robb has more from the Bulldogs in Greenville.
Mississippi State getting off to a slow start against LSU in the SEC women's basketball quarterfinal. The Bulldogs struggling on offense, only able to shoot 37% from the field and 50% from downtown in that first half. That is until guard Andra Espinoza-Hunter heaved a deep 3-ball, sank it at the buzzer to give the Bulldogs the 26-25 lead. And not only gave the Bulldogs the lead, it gave State the momentum the team needed to push them even further in the second half.
That was huge. We needed that. I feel like we were dying on the vine, and just to be able to go into the half up by 1 and have that, as you said, that momentum, that really did help us and fueled us a little bit more.
We kind of practiced half-court shots after shoot around, so I'm kind of getting to the flow of that. Thought the energy in the first half wasn't quite as where we wanted to be, but after the shot, I thought it definitely helped pick it up.
I felt pretty good that I could come through for my team, just knowing that they always have confidence in me and always give me the ball, just make me more confident to make the shots.
I think our kids saw today, whether they were on the bench or on the floor, they saw how when we get going in transition, when we can get going in the open court and make good decisions, we're pretty good.
MSU head coach Vic Schaefer saying in his post-game press conference that the opponents and the matchups are only going to get more difficult from here. The Bulldogs get back to action in the semifinals on Saturday at 5 p.m. Central. Reporting in Greenville, South Carolina at Bon Secours Wellness Arena, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
Kentucky will meet Mississippi State in the semifinals. The Wildcats dominating Tennessee 86-65. Kentucky also winning the regular season matchup against the Bulldogs. Just for a quick correction, the game tomorrow is at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. You can catch the game on the SEC Network. Day 2 of state championships in Oxford, picking up right where they left off yesterday. Insane action going down to the final seconds. The first game of the day needing extra basketball, and Columbus needed a little bit of help, but the Lady Falcons looking to take home a girls 5A state championship, taking on Brookhaven. Falcons execute the fast break perfectly. DJ Jackson with the layup. It's a 9-point Lady Falcon lead. 30 seconds left in the half. Anaya Sadler to Jackson. Those two money all postseason for Columbus. They'd have a 10-point lead at half, but we jump to the fourth. Brookhaven tied it up in the third, but here's Sadler, one dribble pull-up. 3-point lead for Columbus in the fourth, but Brookhaven not going anywhere. Ole Miss signee Snetta Collins to Yana McNary cuts into Columbus's lead, but the Lady Falcons icing the game late with clutch free throws from the charity stripe. And for the first time ever, the Columbus Lady Falcons win the basketball state championship, 55-51 over Brookhaven.
I told them all year that we were going to have to be on those backs of those sophomores and those freshmen, and they stepped up. And DJ, she owed me one from last year. We let one slip last year. We were supposed to be down here last year, not this year. And, so she said she got me. Naya said she got me, and they got me. So here we are to celebrate this victory.
It's great having her this whole season. She played big tonight. She played big all season. And big-time players playing big-time games. That's what she did.
It feels great. I think I lost my voice a little bit from yelling a lot, but it feels so good. It feels so good.
The 2A Girls Championship featuring Calhoun City and Coahoma County. First half, Ajayla Mays steal, pass to Nashir Jennings, bucket and one. Jennings with 19 first half points. Calhoun City looking good until the fourth. Coahoma County rallying Kalacia Phillips to Neera Artis for 3. So Coahoma takes a 2-point lead. 2 minutes left in regulation. Phillips, same result. Driving kick to Artis. A 6-point lead for Coahoma, but Calhoun City not dead yet. Daniel Campbell off the inbounds. Clutch free throws late for Calhoun City. They would force overtime, and in the overtime period, Lady Cats dominate. Conley Langford. Calhoun City is the 2A state champs. They defeat Coahoma 67-57. Go to our website to hear more from the Lady Cats on their championship victory. That's it for sports. A last look at your weather is next.
Your WCBI sports coverage of the MHSAA 2020 C-Spire State Basketball Championships is brought to you by Columbus Orthopedic. Trust one place. Cannon Ford of Starkville. Nobody beats a Cannon deal. Nobody. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
All right, let's look at our numbers. Tonight's Mega Millions numbers are 15, 48, 56, 58, 70, and 4.
Hey, I won.
Oh, Keith. All right, we're out.
All right, see ya.
Also, the Megaplier 4 times, whatever that means.
All right. Okay, so speaking of numbers, we have some numbers here on the 70 forecast. A great weekend here. Don't forget about the time change Sunday morning, and then we're back in the 70s next week.
We are going
Keith, you buy dinner tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sure, for everybody here.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend, everybody.